So guys, I know I've made a video about Rolex ADs and stating that I am done with the Rolex authorized dealers and trying to purchase my first Rolex from an authorized dealer. Well, I have another experience for you guys.
Oh no. Here we go again.
Here we go again. It's another story time where it's unfortunate. It wasn't my choice to go to this AD, but here's the story of my last experience with an AD, guys. Trust me, it's gonna be my last. And I want you guys to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into the story time. So guys, I've been to many Rolex authorized dealers. I'm here in South Florida, so of course I've gone into most of the stores here, even on the West Coast in Naples. And it's pretty much the same experience in all of the ADs. This story time takes place at the Rolex AD in the Design District here in Miami, Florida. So here's how it went. It wasn't my choice to go to this AD. It wasn't my intention to even go in to buy a watch. I was selling one of my pre-owned vintage Rolex watches. So a gentleman on the other side of the story wanted to meet at the Rolex AD so that maybe they could just look at it, or just, you know, for safety reasons, I guess. In the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't a good idea. The Rolex AD, from my experience, like I said, haven't been great. So to have you come in and pretty much have a deal, close a deal on your watch selling to someone else, I don't think that would have went well. But I decided, you know what, let me just try it. And not so to be so obvious with it, but just go in and yes, try to get the first time buyer's experience while I wait for this person. So I went there early. I went in. On the door it stated by appointment, but I realized there was just one person, one customer in there. So I was like, okay, let me just stand by the door and see if someone opens up. So about 30 seconds, 35 seconds after standing in front, someone came to the door. And this is one thing I've started to realize more and more as I get older. I've been realizing more energy and attitudes from other people, whether it's good or bad. I'm not so oblivious to it as though, you know, when you were in your teens. The older you get, the more experience with, you know, being social, you kind of understand when someone likes you, someone doesn't like you, when you're welcome, when you're unwelcome. So as soon as the door opened,
Bad check.
the energy that I just received from the person and just the air within the store was just not welcome. It was dark. It was not the vibe that I wanted. I almost just wanted to turn around, but I was like, you know what? She already opened the door. It's set appointment, and she's kind of just like lingering. So one thing I've realized is that just the customer service is not the best at Rolex, where you would expect a high level of professionalism and customer service. I don't think they're really trained on, you know, perfecting and getting the customer service down. So it was just like an awkward stand where she just opened the door and was just looking at me. And I was like, hey, I saw that you guys have appointments on the door, but I just wanted to come in and take a look at some of the watches that you guys may have. And I don't know if it was just that English wasn't her first language or whatever the case may be, but it just wasn't like clicking in her head quick as it should. So we ended up going inside the store, and she went behind the counter, and I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to take a look at some of the pieces that you guys have. She was like, well, so what are you interested in? I'm like, I've had, you know, two-tone pieces in, you know, my history of owning Rolex watches, so maybe like a steel watch. I'm trying to get the opportunity to purchase my first watch from an AD. And yeah, so I kind of was trying to develop some type of relationship or a conversation flow where some type of understanding could come about, where we could learn, or she could learn about me, because she didn't seem to have any form of questioning along the lines of trying to get to know me in the right way, except for, what are you looking for? So I told her, yeah, like a steel piece, like a GMT or Explorer, something like that would be nice. And she was like, well, we don't have any. Everything that we have has already been allocated to customers already, and they're just picking it up, or they already have it. So they don't have anything pretty much in the back. So I kind of referenced to the display case where they have all the pieces that I just mentioned, everything pretty much. And she said, no, we don't sell these. These pieces don't even have movements in them. So I was like, don't have movements? And guys, this is one thing I want you guys to comment down below if you are familiar with this, or if you know for a fact that the Rolex watches that's in the display case at the AD, that they don't have their movements, that they were taken out or whatever. So comment below and let me know if that's true or not. And again, guys, hit that like button because that helps with the algorithm, and subscribe. So already, guys, you already know I went in with the mindset that I already know what was gonna happen, and I just felt like I had a grudge on my shoulders, you know, almost so, and everything was going as I expected, badly. So I get to a point where I'm just like, you know what, I don't care. I was like, oh, I'm waiting for someone. He wants to come take a look at a piece that I have. And she was like, oh, really? Someone wants to take a look at a watch that you're selling? I'm like, he just wants to take a look at it. You know, he feels comfortable here at a Rolex AD. It wasn't my choice, but yeah. I just started being real as can be. And she's like, oh, wow. Oh, well, since you mentioned that, then now I really can't sell you a watch. Did you hear what I just said? Now I really can't sell you a watch. So okay. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I get that. Trust me, you're trying to sell a watch. But it's not like I'm trying to steal your customer. I'm bringing someone into your store that could probably even be a potential customer for you in the future. Even though he's trying to look at my vintage piece, you guys have modern pieces, you know, like just look at it as like a competition where you could kind of start talking to him when he comes in and introduce him to some of the new pieces that he may be into, you know, like be a little smart, customer service. So she was like, yeah, so we can't have you guys come in and da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, okay, I get that. And I failed to mention that at the design district, there's typically a police car, a Miami PD, in his car outside the Rolex store. And at some point, this customer service rep, dealer, whatever her name is, walked to the back. And when she walked out, the officer came in and she opened the door for him because everything's locked. And he came in and kind of lingered in the corner. So I was like, okay, what, you didn't feel safe? I didn't get the point of having him come in. It's not like he wanted AC. His car is on and he has AC outside. He didn't want, I just didn't get it. I kind of overlooked it. It didn't really throw me off. It didn't faze me. I'm not afraid of the police. I respect the police. We have a good relationship. So I continued on and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of you. Can I speak to the manager? Manager was another lady. There was 3 dealers in the store. 2 women, one gentleman, and all 3 just horrible service. Like no eye contact, no smile, nothing welcoming, just bad energy. So after I asked for the manager, she came up and I expected the same you know, dialogue. And I was like, I came in, I was just speaking to this lady over here, and I came in hoping to purchase my first Rolex at a Rolex AD. I have Rolex watches I've bought in the past, but not from an AD, and I'm just looking for that opportunity to purchase my first watch from an AD. I'm not one of those people, like I've mentioned to her, like, yes, I'm having someone look at one of my vintage pieces. I'm not gonna have this opportunity to purchase my first watch from an AD and then sell it. And then I started to just go into, do you know, I know some of the clients that you guys have, that you're having pick up watches in the next few days or whatever, and they sell their watches that you guys sell to them. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. So I don't know why you guys have this ideology that you're not gonna be welcoming to new clients. And then she's like, no, we do welcome new clients. We actually have new clients, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, everything's going in and out for me. And I'm like, okay, so let's say I'm your new client. How long would I have to wait for a piece? She's like, oh, a year or two. I'm looking at her like she's crazy. I'm looking at dead in her eye, no blinking. And I'm like, you really think I'm gonna wait a year or two for a watch that is not that really special? Like, and first of all, they don't even want to sell you the watch that you want. They want to sell you the watches a little below entry level, watches that I've had before, you know, that I've bought privately. So at that point, she's like, hey, I'll take your information. Bring out this little card to fill out. What's up? I'm like, I've filled these out before. I haven't received a call in within 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. I've done it before. I don't want to give you my information. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, horrible service. Like, the communication was not to the standard that you would expect from a Rolex AD. So I made that story a little bit long, but it is short at the same time. I was just like, I cut it off. I cut the conversation short, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go. Pointed to the door, have her open it, walked out. Went to the Omega store next door, and guys, polar opposite from point A to point B. The service, the energy, the room just felt like, oh, sit down, take a look at a piece. I actually looked at a Omega Constellation. They had the 36 millimeter and then a 33, I believe, or 34, something like that. And I tried them on, and the guy was amazing, great service. I even told him, I'm like, I just went over to the Rolex AD. I wanted to show someone a piece. He was even like, oh yeah, if you want to, you know, have them just look at it, just don't make it too obvious, you know, like, cool vibe, cool chill. Like, it was just unbelievable. But that's my experience again with a Rolex AD. Guys, I want you guys to comment below any experiences that you have had with the Rolex AD and with any other AD, if it's bad or good. I would like to know. At this point, I don't even want to touch another Rolex AD store, and that's where I stand. So I'll leave the video here, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, mentorship.ceo, and stay tuned for some more great videos.